Hello and welcome to this tutorial for the Mascot Creator tool. We're going to be exploring making our mascot sit down in a couple different positions. I'll show you the chair, and then we'll go ahead and play with the logo layer. I'll show you how you can import your own image logo, or maybe change up just some text that goes over some of the matting logo placement holders that we have part of the Mascot Creator tool. Okay, so this is kind of the default. We left off with learning about the different layers and learning about the slide adjustment layer to customize the colors. So I'm going to hit F7 and bring up my layers tool. Alright, so now I got my layers palette up. First thing I want to do is we're going to go and make her sitting, basically. So you see she's standing. She's got the standing skirt on, legs, and shoes. So we'll go ahead into the layers that says pants standing. We'll go ahead and take those off. Shoes standing, take those off. Alright, so that kind of gets rid of the bottom torso there. We're going to expand the layer that says leg. In this layer, we have the normal standing that we just made invisible. We also have 3 sitting positions. Sitting 1, 2, and 3. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so we'll go with 1 for now. She's kind of sitting in an invisible chair at the moment, but she also has no pants on. So if we go to the top part of the layers, we see hot pants sitting, skirt sit, short pants sit, long pants sit. So different styles. Let's say we'll go ahead and throw some long pants on her. We'll expand the long pants sit folder. As you can see, we have long pants sit 1, 2, and 3, kind of matching exactly the sitting position, 1, 2, or 3. So we're in 1. So if we turn 1 on, there we go. Now, if we expand long pants 1, we can see that there is normal full. We can see that there's hands on waist. If we turn hands on waist, you will see this part by the belt line is cut out. That way, if we put her hands on the waist, her hands will still be visible and it won't look like they're inside her pockets or something. So if we changed her hands now, go to hands on waist. We can see here we'd have to change a couple different things like we did in the first tutorial. One, that would be changing the t-shirt, if we leave the t-shirt on, to the waist position, and as well as the vest, as you can see here. So the vest on waist. So there we go, got the hands there. Now the t-shirt, we change the shirt. We'll expand the t-shirt hands main folder. We'll see on waist. Okay, so there we go. So that kind of changes that style up. If someone's going to sit like that, that's fine. And of course, you can do that for all the different sitting positions. So you expand the leg, sitting position 2, and her pants are still in position 1. So we change the pants. Go up to pants, position 2. What about the shoes and stuff? Well, we find shoes that are standing, or shoes that are sitting, my fault. Shoes sit underneath hair. Match the, turn those off and match this position. So either 2 for the shoes or 2 for the heels. And again, you can adjust those with the slider layer, the colors and stuff, if you wish. So also to make it look more realistic, like she's actually sitting on something, in the Mascot Creator tool, there is a chair included. Different colors. Not only is there a chair, so once you select your chair layer, make sure it's highlighted, you can hit shortcut key V on the keyboard, or you can mouse over the selection tool or the move tool to move the position of the chair. Say she's sitting down. Something missing here, the other arm for that chair, that's at the top, chair attachment. And you can select the chair attachment layer to move that where you need to be. Okay, so now she's actually sitting in a chair. That simple. And of course, what about the background and stuff? Now we'll get into some of the logo, some of the background manipulation here. Layer 29, all the way at the bottom of the stack, is the background. We went over that just briefly in the first tutorial. You can turn that off, or you can bring in your own backgrounds for whatever you need. So if I go File, Open, I'll just pull in this picture here. This is just an image. Say I wanted this color or this particular image. Right now, in this view in Photoshop, everything is lined up nicely. But again, we can tear it. Select it, tear it right off. So you got the canvas kind of here. Because I'm selected in this new image here, I have to double click and unlock that layer. I will take this, select it, kind of drop it right into the back. Oh, because I had my chair attachment selected, it went there. But I drag it down above layer 29, close that out. And if that was my background, of course this image is very, very, very big. Like I mentioned, the actual size are these dimensions here, 2000 by 3,500 pixels. But I can still transform my background image. That was shortcut Control T to transform it. I'm going to stretch that out. Now normally that would be, let's say you had an office setting, if she's in an office, or if she's standing out in a field, in a city. That's what you would do. You would bring in your layer above 29 and use it to blend in the background. So hit enter to keep that and delete that layer there. Or if you just like the colors, you can double click on the gradient overlay and kind of play with the gradients and change it up. Double click, change the color gradient. It's kind of digging in a little bit beyond the scope of this tutorial. I just want to show you where you can click around and play with it. Okay, so how about the logos and stuff? Same thing with the logos, except it's going to be at the top layer. You're going to copy anything that you want to bring in at the top, because the logo layer actually has multiple ways for you to show off your logo. She can be holding a message board. She can be holding long ways, landscape over here. And you can see there's a hand on top. Well, you can remove the hand by selecting the hand. We would turn that off. It's kind of giving you a placeholder there. So I want to bring in an image right here. I want to make it look like she's holding your logo. I want to move the board kind of right about here. And turn off that for now. Take my hand, kind of move it about here. And I want to bring in an image and put it here as my logo. So I'm going to hit File, Open. Let's say this was my logo. Double click the background, ripping it off the layer. See, it seems big in comparison to this, but again, the pixel ratio is a little different. So I select it. I want to make sure I want to go to my logo. I want to make sure it goes above this. And kind of just drag it over. And there we go. Okay. So now that's out of my way, I can minimize that. Well, we got a problem here. It's a little bit bigger than this whiteboard. So what do we do? So we want to hit Control T to transform the layer. That'll give us our options to make it bigger or smaller. A couple little tricks with transform. If you need to keep something square, you hold Shift and it'll keep it square. If you need to manipulate the corners, you can hit Control. You can hold Control and it'll kind of let us tilt the image, stretch the corners out. So depending on the angle and the movement, if you hold Shift and Control, that'll give you even more options there. See, Shift, Control, kind of twist and turn. And Alt, if you hold Alt, Shift, Control, that'll kind of let you twist it and do all kinds of stuff. So I don't want to change any of that stuff. So just click on a different selection, hit Don't Apply, back to Move Tool, Control T, and I just want to manipulate it into this little square here. And there we go. Hit Enter. And you can even use the arrows on your keyboard to kind of really get it in place if you need to. So that could be my logo. Plain and simple. Now what if I don't want that? Say I'm not satisfied and I notice that so that's that. I mean, it's basically, you can import, manipulate it any way you want to. You just want to make sure you're in your logo layer there, kind of the placeholder. If you dropped it below it, we'll bring up that. You can see where it would go. You can just uncheck your logo. You can name it if it's not already named. Okay, so now that you have played with your logo, you kind of have it messed with and things are in place and you're ready to save, we're going to move on to saving in the third tutorial and talk about the different options you have to save the file.